Watch your warning signs. It's another thing I mentioned in a previous video is, what are your warning signs? Now it's all about watching them, monitoring them, and having a game plan of how to address them. So for those of you who haven't seen the previous video, how do we craft our warning signs list? Well, to make this easier, I want you to think about 4 categories: physical, emotional, spiritual, and relational. What are your warning signs for the physical category? Is it fatigue? Is it being tired? Is it numbness, aches and pains, muscle tension, a sore neck, tension headaches? You can craft the things that are unique to you in the physical category. Next, what's in the spiritual category? Well, spiritual doesn't always mean religion. Maybe it's more about mindfulness and connection to the things around you. I describe this to my mental health clients as being aware of the beauty and being aware of the details in the environment around you. If you take a walk, do you notice the trees budding? Can you hear the sound of passing cars? Can you smell the flowers? Or are you finding yourself with your nose buried in your phone? That's just one example. So that would be things to craft in the spiritual side. On the emotional, what's happening for you? That's a warning sign. Short fuse, irritability, avoidance, anger, quick to cry. These might be things found in your emotional list. And last, relational. What happens to your relationships when you're not well, when you're not yourself? Is this also avoidance, irritability? Is this feeling like you're raw and hypersensitive or hyper-aware to other people's thoughts and opinions of you? Is it having low libido, not wanting to connect? Is it feeling like you're not getting physical touch, if that's one of your love languages? These are just some examples, yet again, in that 4th category. The hope is that you're going to craft your own unique list of your warning signs so you know exactly what you're looking for. If you find yourself stuck in these 4 categories, one of my favorite things to encourage is ask someone you trust. Ask a loved one, a colleague, a friend. Say, what's it look like when I'm not myself, when I'm not well? And lo and behold, they have some examples for you as well, because they care about you and they're tracking that, even if it's subconscious. So if you find yourself stuck crafting your warning signs list, ask someone you trust for some feedback. Sometimes they can unlock that writer's block by saying, this is what I see and this is what I notice. So now that you've crafted your warning signs list, the next step is to figure out what we can control. You know, I'm all about self-care, for those of you who watched other videos of mine. So self-care, I want to break down into 4 unique categories for the purpose of warning signs and reduction of those warning signs. So the first category is active. The second category is quiet. The third category is alone. And the 4th category is together. So let's talk about active, alone as a combination. What can you do by yourself that's active self-care? Maybe you're running, maybe you're walking, maybe you're listening to music while taking a jog. Maybe you're doing yoga on your own. These things might be more active in the sense that there's movement and body work that's being done versus what would be your example of alone and quiet. What comes to mind? Maybe you enjoy reading. Maybe you're drawing or journaling on your own. These quiet activities require less movement, less planning, and they're still very much on your own. The third category to think about is active together. What can you do with others that's active and still within that self-care realm? Maybe now you're taking a walk with a friend. Maybe you're doing an exercise class together. Maybe you're going for a drive with someone you care about as more of the active, again, movement, moving out of one place kind of feel. In contrast, your quiet together might be more passive activity, things that are relaxing. Maybe you're watching a movie together, listening to music. Maybe you're both working on projects side by side that are quiet and calm, like writing or blogging. So obviously there's a time and place for active versus quiet, just as there's a time and place for alone versus together. This absolutely resonates with my introverts that I work with as a mental health professional who are looking to refill their cup or to recharge on their own, which would be more those alone quiet activities versus alone active, versus those extroverts who really value and recharge around others. So maybe now they're recruiting a friend to take a walk or to watch a show together, things of that nature. So by putting it in those 4 categories, my hope is that you'll actually have some answers or some ideas for each of those categories. Things you can do alone, things you can do together, things that are quiet, things that are active. And that'll help you feel like you have some control to address the warning signs that we've listed today.